and just a normal American woman.
Okay.
But to the left, that makes me a cisgendered, ethno-imperialist, birthing person.
All right, I'm not doing this with even a half full bladder. Just give me a second. No, I can just tell this is going to be a rough one.
We will teach you how to unwind the words and phrases that have been so artfully layered into every document in the federal government. You can do this in any role at any level of seniority. This training will prepare you to make changes, and fast.
Yeah, this is a big part of Project 2025, the elimination of all language and terminology that the right believes facilitate progressive ideology. No mention of climate in any capacity, gender, likewise with race, I think. The goal by eliminating reference of these terms is to effectively do what Ronald Reagan did with the AIDS crisis, which is if you never talk about it, you can just let every problem associated with it run rampant, you know? It's you've kind of seen a little sneak peek of this in how the term cis is one of the only auto-banned terms on Twitter. Cisgender, like your message gets removed or hidden if you say it, but not trans. They don't want cis and trans. They want normal and trans. They don't want it to be thought of as like an option, one of two. They want it to be thought of as like normal or aberrant, and this aberrancy is named trans, you know?
The left continually pivots and assaults definitions and phrases. They twist words and phrases to support subconscious acceptance of a philosophy that was rejected or is against the grain of human existence. Marxism became socialism, then
No. Oh, God, I don't want to have to debunk this. Guys, please, this is a 50-minute long video.
Quote, "He who controls the language rules the world." It's attributed to Joseph Stalin and other tyrants. George Orwell stated,
1984.
"He who controls language controls culture." Even more, Hitler and others lived by the creed. If you repeat a lie often enough,
Hitler,
people
Stalin,
will believe
and
it.
George Orwell.
Without doubt, it's true.
Career bureaucrats and the left are also using language to change culture.
I like the idea that the greatest warriors of leftism are 63-year-old bureaucrats who work in the administrative state, who play catch with their kids on the weekends. Like, yeah, man, that's definitely where all of the sociology majors with the purple hair end up, in the administrative state.
If there's one thing you take from this training, it is to know when you start your job as a political appointee, every single word, phrase, and acronym must be vetted.
Remember, political appointee? Appointee? This is them talking about the main goal, to replace bureaucrats with loyalists. What they're talking about is directly appointed by Donald Trump, rather than the normal way the administrative state works, like, say, the Department of Education, which they just want to cut altogether, by the way, which is the president appoints the cabinet head, you know, the person who leads the Department of Education, and then the rest of it works, you know, they make their hires and their fires or whatever else. The goal here is for Donald Trump to personally appoint an army of fascist loyalists at every level of the administrative state. That's why they're talking directly to an appointee, you know? Basically like, hello, Donald Trump loyalist who has been selected exclusively for you being loyal to Donald Trump, who may or may not have any knowledge in the field pertinent to the administrative agency that you've been appointed to. Here's how to avoid woke. Like, they're trying to quote Orwell saying, "He who controls language controls the culture," because that's literally what's trying to do. Yeah, literally like a political effort to appoint people specifically for their ability to eliminate words from the language that we use is directly Orwellian in a way that is not even euphemistic, but actually happens in the book 1984.
We will teach you how to identify the left's progressive language, scrutinize career staff compositions for dangerous language.
Definitely, like, they're the ones opposing 1984. Scrutinize career staff compositions for dangerous language. This is I need to, like, I know people say this a lot, Nazi shit. You will be appointed to government and you will be scrutinizing all of your coworkers for their language to make sure they don't engage in wrongthink. That is literally, definitionally, what they are trying to do here.
We are trying to provide alternative language for the highly controversial phrase comprehensive sexuality education, or CSE, which at the United Nations had come to mean not just typical sex education, but instead have been morphed into teaching and normalizing sex at very early ages, even as young as...
So obviously, like, you should never take anything this woman says at face value or at all. What I'm guessing she means is it's not abstinence-only education. Literally, that's it. Probably like sex education means acknowledging the existence of queer people, and also an acknowledgement that young people, like 15-year-olds, do have sex. I had sex when I was 15. Like, humans have been like that forever. And that if you adopt an abstinence-only attitude towards it, you just increase the number of child pregnancies, which is bad. You don't want that. Not that Republicans mind. That's it, you know.
And for girls who became pregnant, that abortion was a preferable method of birth control.
See, like I said, they do not care about child pregnancies. They do not care about child pregnancies. Literally, in the same sentence. I paused like 1 second before they say it.
Now, let's talk about the word abortion. The left got very creative years ago and started using different words to make abortion sound a little less like murder. For example, sexual and reproductive health, reproductive rights, sexual and reproductive health services, reproductive health services, sexual and reproductive health and reproductive rights.
These are all like the same term. You guys have to understand what they will do. They will literally take over the Department of Health and Human Services and reterm it so that abortion is referred to with child murder. That's not even a joke. Like, that is absolutely 100% on the docket right now. Like, legally, the only way to refer to abortion will be child murder. That is what they want.
And then science comes along and disproves the global warming theory in large part, and we have one of the most frigid winters ever known.
What?
And then the next thing
It's a death cult, guys. It's a death cult, and they want to take over. Disproves fucking source. I'm not wasting time debunking this. Are you kidding me?
Now, I always understood that climate change meant seasons. Our climate does.
Remember, these are training modules intended that were created by the premier Conservative Policy Institute, presented to people who are meant to be directly appointed by Donald Trump for their loyalty to Donald Trump. This is what they are being trained on.
Climate change, allegedly, is everywhere. And if the American people elect a conservative president, his administration will have to eradicate climate change references from absolutely everywhere.
Death cult. Death cult.
And I said, I had 3 children. And he actually said to me, oh, wow, 1.5 too many for the environment.
That this didn't happen.
I smiled and I said very politely, if I could have 10 more children, I would.
This didn't happen. And she didn't say that. And everyone clapped, including Einstein. But this didn't happen.
Illegal immigration is one of the most devastating challenges America faces today, particularly when you factor in all of the secondary costs and effects of illegal immigration, including illicit drugs.
How do they make fascism sound so boring and bureaucratic? Well, I think this is always how it is behind the scenes, you know? You have all of the pomp and circumstance and bombast up there on stage, but overwhelmingly, I think that when you get behind it, it's a lot of, like, you know, toothy grinned, here's how we're going to handle things, bureaucratic incompetency. Fascists aren't good at managing bureaucracy. There's a reason why, like, these people are potentially being trained to enter the administrative state. The information that they're getting is on, like, how to be a good political partisan, not how to run the government, you know? The goal here is not to run the government. The goal here is to destroy the government.
The left's attempt to wash away the term alien stems from their disdain of actual law, since
Says the people violating international law by trying to kill and deport people who are legally asylum seeking.
calling illegal aliens undocumented immigrants is
just
the
repeating points
intellectual
now.
equivalent of calling someone who breaks into your house in the middle of the night an undocumented homeowner.
There is no relationship between those at all. Citizens do not own America. The process for being a resident of a property is completely different to the process of being a legal resident of a nation. This is completely asinine. It's just, you have to look at this stuff and understand these were leaked. They're not meant to be viewed publicly. There are probably already tens of thousands of people, maybe not tens of thousands, thousands of people who have been shown these videos. You know that, right? Like, with almost a guarantee that they have already been lining up the potential appointees for Donald Trump, showing them these videos, getting them ready. Yeah, a style guide for conservative bureaucrats. Make the more neocon bureaucrats a little bit more fascist, and make the, the more fascist bureaucrats a little better at bureaucracy, You want both. You want them to be effective, and you want them to be fascist. That being said, it is damn boring to watch. It is, who dilly, It is damn boring to watch. No getting around that.